Let's talk about this now with Burak Barut. He's the head of training at the Forum of European Muslim Youth and Student Organizations. He joins us from Nuremberg in Germany. Burak, thanks for your time this morning. Is this ruling just simply another form of discrimination against groups that already feel marginalized in Europe?
Thanks so much for inviting me. And as a German citizen, clearly I need to say that who currently studies in the UK, these conversations are not new and must not be seen in isolation. For example, the most recent example was the ban in Greece and early on in Belgium. It follows a clear European trend of shrinking public spaces for religious minorities so far in 11 countries. And it's not only slaughter, it's like wearing hijab, praying in universities and workplaces, and they are diminishing more and more. So this ban in Greece, amongst other decisions, is a deeply damaging move towards developing a multicultural, multi-religious society that would be an optimum for Europe.
And this is also quite hypocritical of some European countries, because when we think of situations in a country like Belgium, for example, where abattoirs there's documented animal cruelty in those abattoirs. Also, animals are still hunted in some countries or used in cultural events. In Denmark, I think it was earlier this year, they culled thousands of minks just because of the coronavirus. So it's a very hypocritical ruling at the same time.
Yes, and clearly the thing is that Muslim and Jewish communities will see this as an attack on their way of life. So through the guise of animal welfare, which is just not correct. So, for example, we can see our colleagues from the European Union of Jewish Students. They had a press statement on the Belgium issue and Belgium decision. And even for the European Court of Justice, I'm quoting, they said it perversely promotes intolerance and exclusion and threatens on a long-term Jewish life in Europe. So, and we share these concerns for Muslims as well. So maybe a rigid example is even that animal welfare can be used as a political weapon to stigmatize religious minorities. Extreme example is when the Nazi regime seized power in 1933, the first adopted legislation was to ban kosher slaughter. So the decision of the National Constitutional Court or the EU Court of Justice is not the same, but it clearly goes into this direction, shrinking the space for religious minorities, and we need to collectively tackle this.
And how do you collectively tackle this situation in a region that seems to be polarizing minority groups more and more these days?
So that's our main vision within our organization, that we call for action between religious communities and our leaders to ensure that we can protect the rights of us all in our countries, especially devout and pious citizens who have the right to live in their cities, in their home places, because they see Europe as their home. And we will need to supporting both Muslim, Jewish, Christian organizations challenging these decisions, and maybe in appealing at the European Court of Human Rights. And we will support organizations that will go this long way, and even to build further alliances between religious non-governmental organizations and to inform the wider European society about the high imperative of Muslims, our ethical imperative regarding animal welfare. We care about animals, we care about the environment, and we need to be really aware and raise the awareness on this issue.
Burak, as a young person in Europe, as a young German who is also a Muslim, how does this ruling, how have some of the other rulings with regards to religion make you feel about your future in Europe?
It is somehow worrying, because on the one side you feel like public space is shrinking, that you have less and less space for acting within the commitments of your religion. But on the other side, we see this as an opportunity to call upon ethical values and to call upon cohesive and together like a society which works together. And I think this is in the future to tackle more, even with a stronger commitment, Islamophobia and any other types of human hatred more decisively. And I think as a young European Muslim, we will be more committed and try to make alliances with other marginalized groups and religious minorities to fight for our cause.
Social cohesion and understanding so important in the way forward. Burak Barut, great to have you on the program. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you too.